You know, most of us can relate to that feeling of being super tired, wanting to fall asleep, but you lay down in your bed and your mind just will not relax.
It is very common for our worries to be anxious and our thoughts to keep us up at night because we don't have any distractions in front of us. You're just laying there. Can't go to your phone, can't go, just you and your thoughts. Dr. Karen Ryan is a licensed psychologist with Nystrom and Associates, here to talk about our anxious thoughts at night. Dr. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I know a lot of people deal with this.
Yes.
I would even venture to say most people deal with this,
yeah,
right?
I have, absolutely.
How do you just lay down at night and I've got no worries at all? Fall asleep.
Right, like my husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that him?
Yeah. Oh, within 30 seconds. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's amazing. Yes, and so when we think about it, there's some things we can do to prepare and try to like proactively have good sleep. So the first thing is like throughout your day, if you can try to have a little more mindfulness and check in on kind of how your stress level is, it's not going to all build up and then come at you when you lay down and you don't have those distractions. So trying to implement some mindfulness and checking in on your worries throughout the day is really helpful.
Okay.
And then the second thing is really being thoughtful about having a good bedtime routine.
Yeah.
And so thinking about like washing your face, brushing your teeth, putting on pajamas, taking any nighttime meds. And that's not only like a routine, but it also is self-care. And so I don't know that feeling of like when you wash your face with warm water, and I literally would be like, and that even helps, like kind of like setting that tone for relaxation, letting things go. So having a routine and then being thoughtful about how much blue light you have before going to bed, when you last had caffeine, and then if you're getting exercise during the day. So these are proactive things to do to try and help.
I want to rewind you a little bit there. And we had a talk before the show started about this term mindfulness that always seems to come up. And I still don't think that either of us really understands it all that well and what it is.
Yeah.
We're broken.
Yeah, well, what is what is it?
For me and for a lot of people, it's literally just like taking a second when you're in the car or you're going somewhere. And for me, it has to be when I'm alone, typically. And I'm like, how am I feeling? How am I doing? Where am I at? And so if I find myself like frustrated, like shoving something in and feeling frustrated, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling really frustrated. Or if I'm like, ugh, okay, that's a mindfulness. Can I check in and validate? I'm feeling really tired. And so it's just taking a second to like, how does my body feel? And then how am I thinking? And that's when like it's awareness. It's more like, so mindfulness sometimes is like awareness of how I'm thinking and feeling in my body and emotionally.
Okay.
To put it simply.
You mentioned the routine, and I'm thinking back to when my kids were babies and how important that routine was for them, right? It was dinner, it was bath time, it was the lotion, it was the book, and all of that stuff that you go through. And I swear, if we didn't have that routine when we were in someone else's house or visiting grandparents or whatever, they didn't sleep as well. You focus so much on that when they're little kids, and then something happens as an adult and you're doing a million other things and you kind of forget that focus. It worked for the kids. Of course it would work for you as an adult, but the priority just may not be there.
Yeah, and that having that habitual kind of routine and like really sets a tone for your body and your mind and kind of telling it's time for rest now is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have, you mentioned the limiting the blue light before bed. It used to be that you would pick up a book and you would read a couple of pages of a book, and now whether it's on your Kindle or whether it's on your phone or your tablet, it's a change that we've made, which may not be for the better, at least when we're talking about settling our
Exactly,
brains.
and especially like when we find ourselves like wanting to like pop and check on things, that then like is reactivating. And so doing the best, like, can I just set it down and not pick that up again? Yeah.
I like the idea of getting up and writing things down or making a list or something. If you're laying there and you can't get it off your mind, get up. You keep a pad and paper like on the screen next to your bed?
This is a skill that I think is essential and so helpful. It's something that I do almost every night. And so it's having a pad of paper or a pen by your bed. For me, it's in the bathroom as I brush my teeth. That's when my to-do list pops up. And so it's literally writing down the things that you are holding in your mind of things you have to do the next day, that week. Even writing down things you're worried about. I'm worried about if we should send this person to camp. I'm worried about like how my mom is doing. I'm worried about that. Write those down. And then literally what you can do is tell yourself they're written down. I can let them go. I don't need to hold on to them. And then if you find yourself ruminating, that's when you can like lovingly but firmly say, stop. It's called a thought stopping technique. Stop. I use my name, Karen. You have it written down. You will do it in the morning. You can let it go now. And so writing it down is a really helpful thing. And if you're laying there and it's like still there, pop up, write it down, and then lay back down.
That makes sense.
It's really helpful.
I think of the things that we think in our head, right? Don't forget to pay the babysitter. And I think that 17 times or 25 times throughout the day. I think it at night. I think it in You're right. If you can just write
Write it
those things down, it clears up space in your head for other things.
Yes.
Maybe even some of that being the calm and not the anxious.
Yeah, and it almost like your brain's like, oh, I did something with that. I can let it go
Yeah.
now. So that's a really helpful technique. Yeah.
I know that some people lay down at bed at night and they start to think about, like, not necessarily bad things, but they worry, right?
Yeah.
They have the worry of people, and that kind of
Yes.
can keep people awake. Is so-and-so doing
Yeah.
okay? I should have done this for so-and-so. Those types of things too. And I know that that can be really
Yeah.
hard for people to, you can't really write that down
Yeah.
when it's a concern.
Yeah, and what you're highlighting is that there's an emotional attachment to it, and so it's activating, right?
Yeah.
So when we're trying to go to sleep, we're wanting everything to slow down, and when we have those worry thoughts about people or bigger issues, and even for ourselves, it can be really activating. And so it can be really helpful to have a mantra or something that you tell yourself. So an example of this would be, I would shut my eyes, right? Hand on chest, hand on belly, or you can just lay still. And it's a deep breath and like saying, right now I'm okay. Right now I'm safe. Right now the people I love are okay. Right now I'm safe. Right now the people I love are okay. And it's assuring yourself that right now, you're not promising forever. You're not saying that they were okay earlier. It's right now the people I love are safe. I'm okay. And it really is because that anxiety kicks in and you don't feel okay. Things don't feel okay. And so if you can use that, right now I'm safe in my bed, I can breathe and relax. And then if you can pair that with some, we call it like relaxation. So for me, it's always letting the tension out of my forehead and relaxing my jaw, right? I feel it most here and here, right? And sometimes it's in your belly. Can I let my belly kind of relax as I say those statements? And so that can be really helpful because we can't fix it, but
Yeah.
we can let go of it a little bit by validating we're safe right now and then doing some of that muscular relaxation.
You've got another breathing thing too. You
Yeah.
were doing a little bit of a breathing thing
Yeah.
there, but tell us about the other one.
Yeah, the other one is like a 10 count breathing, and it's real simple. And so it's breathing in on 10 and out on 9. So it'd be like breathe in 10, out 9, in 8, out 7. So as you're breathing, all you're doing in your mind is counting 10.
You're counting
Kinda like
sheep.
counting sheep.
Yes,
Or
and then
bottles
if you
of beer
lose
on the
track, which you will, you'll get to like 7, you'll think, you'll lose track, go back to 10. And once you reach 1, start back at 10 again until you feel calm. And then my other favorite little technique is, once you've done that and done some relaxation, get into a position. For me, it's on my left side, like this, got a blanket under here, and I say, don't move for 2 minutes. Do not wiggle, do not fidget, do not itch. Just relax and lay still for 2 minutes, and that can be helpful.
And if you can't sleep, get up after a half hour.
After 20
Just
minutes,
don't even.
Get up, do a podcast, read a book, drink warm milk, warm water, do something like that can be really helpful as well.
Okay.
All great tips.
Yeah, very good
my
stuff.
pleasure. Thanks.
Dr. Rank, thank you.
Yeah.
Nystrom and Associates provides care in the fields of psychiatry, psychology, family therapy, and more. If you're struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, addiction, sleep problems, just reach out to them.
Coming